Besides the decree of dissolution of marriage in Nigeria, which is what most people focus on, there are other matrimonial reliefs as contained in the Matrimonial Causes Act in Nigeria. So these reliefs are things that you can also ask the court to do for you, aside asking the court to put an end to the marriage by way of dissolution. You can ask the court for a decree of nullity of a void marriage. That's a marriage that was void from start. There was never a marriage from the circumstances, and the grounds upon which you can bring that kind of ask are contained in the Matrimonial Causes Act. You can also ask the court for a decree of nullity of a voidable marriage. That is, maybe some requirements of a valid marriage were not complied with at the time when you celebrated the marriage. So it's up to you to decide, or up to both parties to decide, if they want to regularize their position, comply with the requirements so that the marriage can become valid, or if they want to void the marriage. That's why it's voidable. So you can also ask the court for a decree of nullity of a voidable marriage. You can ask the court for judicial separation. You're telling the court, oh, you're married to this person, you don't want to end the marriage, but you are not comfortable with the circumstances or the conditions of the marriage at the moment. You want to be separated from this person lawfully, not putting an end to the marriage. You're still married but separate, so you'll be living separate. You're separated from the person physically, so you can ask the court for judicial separation. It's also a relief, and I would advise parties to even explore this, sometimes at first, before going for dissolution, outright dissolution. If you live apart, separate, I often counsel people during mediation that, okay, if you're saying you want to get out of this marriage, can we explore separation? Maybe if air blows this person, air blows you, maybe both of you will miss each other, and maybe you find something to do about the things that are causing problems, and then you can come back together. So you can ask the court for judicial separation. You can also ask the court for an order compelling one party to resume conjugal duties. Restriction of conjugal rights is usually brought after parties have asked the court for a decree of judicial separation, and they are now seeking to come back together to resume cohabitation and, of course, sexual intercourse. So in order to prevent a situation where the other party claims trespass if one party moves back into their house, or they claim rape, if one party tries to have sexual intercourse with them, without their consent, there's a need to ask the court for a decree, an order for the restitution of conjugal rights. So the court will give this order, which will then compel the other party to restore or resume conjugal duties, restoration of conjugal rights. And of course, you can also ask the court for jactitation of marriage. Jactitation means that you people want to go your separate ways. Yes, the marriage has probably ended by dissolution, and you want the other party, to stop using your name or to stop holding themselves out as your spouse. So you can also ask the court for that. These are 5 other matrimonial reliefs that you can come and ask the court for in Nigeria, aside the decree of dissolution. There's just so much focus on the decree of dissolution at the detriment sometimes of these other reliefs. That's all I have for you in this video. I'll see you in my very next video. Don't forget to subscribe to those.